おはようございます。
いやおはようございますね。
朝が早い、とにかく今10時
早い
40何分なんですけど
ね。これはなんだ、
久しぶりじゃないですか、こ
い
んな朝。
やいや本当にいつ以来かって考えました。
いつでした？
覚えてますかね。
いや、覚えてないです。
68年特集やったんですよ。
あ
はい、
あれだ、ディスクユニオンさんで
やりました。
多分一昨年かなんかやらせてもらって、
開店と同時に
スタートする。
あれ以来ですよ。
ちょっと眠かったもんな。
眠いもう矛盾だよね。もう
ミッドナイトじゃねえよっていう。
アーリー
モーニングランブルショーなんですけど。
ランブルしていいのかっていう。いやでもね、今日はなぜかというとですよ。谷口さん。
原因は時差にあります。
はい。
つまり、海外の人とこれからやり取りをするんですよ。なんと LA。お、
嘘でしょ。
そうなんです。こちらのデントメイさんと今からズームでおしゃべりをしようという。
本当なのって俺ちょっといまだにねファンタジックなんですよ。
いや俺もまた全員がファンタジックだと思う。
ですよね。
まあ俺たちこの間ね、この5月6月以来からずっとデントメイ言
ってきました。再生回数500は俺だと思った。間違いない。
そういうのを見たホンチコンというサイトの方からぜひズームでちょっとおしゃべりしてみないかと。あとはでもやっぱりほらランブルメイトの皆さんの
有給取ってライブ見たと。
わざわざレコードをバンドキャンプで注文したとか。
僕の友達ではね、好きが高じて LA にハガキ送ったら返してきたんですよ。
デントメイから。
そうで日本に来るのは僕のトップリストだと。
あ、そうだからそういう皆さんね、やっぱりその伝統愛が
そうだね、
この
海を太平洋を越えて
ズームインタビューにつながったという。
いや俺もう常にチャネリングしてますからね。ここ
届いてんだわかんないけどね。
結構何回か俺この何週間かで喋りかけてます。
それはでも言わない方がいい。
事前リハをしてます。
かなりスケアリーなんですけど。まあとにかく今日はこのレイトチェックアウト
本物が来ますよ。
そう、本物が来ます。
まあいろいろ聞きたいことありますよ。本当に
なるべくいろんなことを引き出せたらと思いますね。皆さん最後までちょっと楽しんでみてください。
お楽しみに。
お楽しみに。
Yes, it is. Actually, Dent is my middle name, so my full name is James Dent May Jr. But I always went by Dent. Like my whole life, I went by Dent.
Really?
Because my dad is James Dent May Sr. And he went by James or James Dent or JD, depending on when you met him. But I was always Dent.
Got it.
It's a weird one over here. Yeah, it's people always get it wrong or ask me why I'm named that.
何年生まれなの？
Yeah, 1985.
Oh,
1985.
Me too.
Oh, right.
84.
Cool. Okay, the first record I ever bought with my own money was an album called The Good Feeling Music of the Big Chill Generation. So there's a story behind it. There's a movie called The Big Chill. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's an American movie from I don't know, the 80s or 90s, but all the soundtrack is like Motown and soul music, like oldies hits. And so the Big Chill soundtrack was a big hit album at the time. But so I went to a used CD store called Dirt Cheap Discs with, I asked if they had the Big Chill soundtrack and they said no, but we have a knockoff album like called The Good Feeling Music of the Big Chill Generation. And it was a CD with a bunch of Motown hits. And I liked it so much. And actually my first album is The Good Feeling Music of Dent May and His Magnificent Ukulele. So that is where I got the inspiration for that. But I also, then after that, I bought like pop stuff like Ace of Base and TLC and Boyz II Men. I had a bunch of 90s pop stuff like that.
Okay.
なんとなくルーツが分かってきましたね。面白い。
Yeah, I always grew up on like, my parents' record collection was like the Bee Gees, Olivia Newton-John, John Denver, Beach Boys and Beatles, but it was very soft rock. Like they were always into 70s soft rock. So I grew up with that from day one.
AM ラジオでかかってるようなこうヒットチューンっていうのはお父さんとお母さんの影響があったってことですかね。
Yeah, I mean there was a radio station in my like hometown called 105.1 that just played all like 70s 80s, maybe 60s, 70s, and 80s oldies music. So yeah, I mean, yeah, my parents, like, they're not super deep into music. In fact, like, they kind of stopped listening to music, or at least learning about new artists, probably in the 80s when they started having kids. So like, that's the last of their music knowledge. They aren't like heads into music. Although I would enjoy trying to show them things like when I was a teenager and stuff. But yeah, that was like just the music they grew up on the radio, the mainstream popular music, you know.
なるほど。
でも今言ったようなサウンドは、なんかこう新風にもね、
そうね。
なんか通底するというか、
So
つながってますよね。Yeah,
Must be up.
yeah, it's funny because like at the time I didn't think it was cool, and most of my like teenage years and like stuff, I didn't really think it was cool, but I guess I did. I mean, I kind of always had a soft spot for radio pop of all kinds. Like when I was in high school, I got into Hall & Oates and stuff like that, which was even like past my parents' interests or whatever. And yeah, nice. Yeah, and, like so I've always was into like radio pop. Even like, I mean, I wouldn't say I listen to a lot of current radio pop now, but like throughout the 90s and or always, I kind of also like pop music. So yeah, I guess the 70s stuff is influential to my music now, but like mostly stuff that my parents didn't know about, like Ned Doheny or I don't know, like even Harry Nilsson or something. My parents don't know who that is, but or maybe they do, but I don't know. I don't know what led me down this like 70s sounding path, but yeah.
ああ、なるほどね。あんまり意識してないですね、そこはね。
そうね。そういうことだね。
うん。
じゃあせっかくなので、こ
そうですね、
の流れで
いろいろ
そのレイトチェックアウトの
アルバ
ことを
ムについて聞いてみたいですね。
Yeah, so it's kind of about the hotel theme. I mean, I've always been really fascinated with hotels, and I enjoy staying at motels, especially like cheap motels on the side of the highway, you know, when I'm on tour or traveling around America. So, and I've always like collected the hotel stationery. Like, I actually have
towels or soap and stuff like that.
なんかあんのか
a
な
box of like hotel stationery right
Ah.
Oh my god!
now.
Whoa!
And that's the first song on the album, as you know. But late checkout is just like when you call down to the lobby and say, "Can I check out late?" Like, you know, you
Yeah.
11 a.m. checkout, and you'll say, "Oh, can I stay till 12 noon or whatever?" And I don't know, like I had that like phrase written down as like something I could write a song about it, and it just became the album title. And to me, it's also sort of a metaphor for life, like where you like maybe, yeah, like saying goodbye, or, you know, going through something something good in life that's never going to happen again, and you just want like one more moment of it. So it's like, I just want one more moment of this good feeling or this good time before I have to say goodbye and leave and go away. And even like death, there's like a bunch of meanings to it, where it's like one day you're going to die. It's like, I want late checkout. I want to like stay a little bit longer. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
まあ本当にコンセプトアルバム的な感じでもあるっていうことなんですかね。前ね、ギルバート・オサリバンのアルバムにちょっとインスピレーションを受けてっていう話もあったんですけど、
昔のインタビューでね。
そう、その辺の話ちょっとですね。
Okay, so they.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Gilbert O'Sullivan.
Yeah.
Great album. Well, yeah, he has the intro and the outro. Like, I love that. That's cool. I mean, I love that album. And in fact, I used to say that Alone Again Naturally is my favorite song ever. And that's funny because I think that album, like, I'm not sure if it has that song, but they released it with that song because it was a big hit. But like, one thing I love about that album is that the intro and the outro, like I said, and in fact, like 10 years ago when I released my first album, The Good Feeling Music of Dent May and His Magnificent Ukulele, I had that song, and I didn't have an outro, but I had Welcome. The first song on that album is called Welcome, and it's just like, welcome to my album. It's like, so I don't know. I really like that album, and that is one aspect of it that like made a big impression on me, where like I always want the first song on my album and the last song on the album to be like saying hello and goodbye. And like on this new album, like literally that it happens, where Hotel Stationery, it's like just to say hello, and then the last song after late checkout, I say goodbye. Like I love that, like bookending the album like that. And yeah, that's a great album.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like I have like gotten really into just audio production nerdy stuff over the last few years, and I always like had the dream of having a studio space like this, and luckily I share it with 2 other people who are really great, and they have a lot of great gear. I bought like a Neumann U87 microphone from 1970, which I did all the vocals on. Where like on Across the Multiverse, I did all the vocals on a Rode NT1A, which costs like $100. So it doesn't really matter like that much, but like I've enjoyed learning like the little things, like using different microphones or having access to different preamps or just like nerdy things like that. And we have a piano, a harpsichord, an organ, Rhodes, Wurlitzer, a bunch of synthesizers like ARP 2600. I don't know if you know these stuff, like ARP 2600 is a great synthesizer, Juno 106, like all this stuff. And also just like having a place that's not my house to go away and work on stuff and invite friends to hear what I'm working on. And if they want to add something, they can. I want to like go more and more in that direction where I have more and more collaborators, because I've always been very shy about asking people to play on my music, and I always just made it in my bedroom alone. But I'm getting more and more into like sharing it with people and then saying, hey, do you hear anything you want to play? And like, for example, on like Easier Said Than Done, my friend Joakim, his band is called Pearl and the Oysters. If you haven't heard it, you're going to love it. It's like my favorite band. They're from Paris and they live in Los Angeles. And like he just came by and played the like Wurlitzer keyboard on Easier Said Than Done. So stuff like that like was really important for this. And I love the process of recording music. It's really important to me. Joakim just got like 2 days ago, or no, like last week, he got his PhD in musicology, and he studies Brazilian music. So he's like a doctor.
Wow.
He's academic. He did his dissertation on Joao Gilberto, I believe, or
João Gilberto.
Joao Gilberto, I think is his name.
じゃあ最近やっぱりそういうブラジル音楽も関心があるんですか?
Yeah, but I always was. Like, I think a long time ago, I got really into Tropicalia, like, the Os Mutantes stuff, and like all the late 60s stuff. And then more recently, I got into 70s and 80s Brazilian music. I've always been a big fan of it.
ムタンチスとか、カエターノ・ベローズとか、そういうあたりも好きなのかもしれないですね。
これ
Oh yeah, that's the album. Yeah.
これだね。
I love that album. In fact, I was talking about that recently as one of my favorite albums, because it really inspired me how it's just like a group of friends that made a bunch of music together, and they're like all on the cover together, and it's just really cool. Yeah, so my label is called Car Park Records, and 10 years ago, Jimmy Whispers had a band called Light Pollution on Car Park Records.
Light Pollution, yeah.
And so when I lived in Mississippi, I threw DIY house shows, most famously at a house called Cat's Purring Dude Ranch. But before I lived there, I lived at a different house that we called Cat's Purring Country Club and Teen Wing. It's really like confusing, but so he was on tour with a band called Prince Rama, who was also on like Paw Tracks, which was Animal Collective's label that was part of Car Park, and that's how I got signed to Car Park. But so Light Pollution played a show in my garage in Taylor, Mississippi, a small town. Yeah, we've been friends ever since. He lived in Chicago, and every time I'd play in Chicago, we would play, we would hang out with him, or he'd open for us or something. And yeah, he lived in my house for a long time. He used to live in the room I'm in, which is now my home studio. He used to live in this room. Yeah, they're my really good friends. Yeah. Yeah, I was like 18 when we met, like in college. Yeah, his name is Print Shoto. He's in the live band Whitney. And he went to my high school, but like 3 or 4 years younger than me. So I didn't know him until college. but he's one of my best friends. And independently of him, I met, Julian from Whitney when he was in Unknown Mortal Orchestra, and I met Max when he was in Smith Westerns many years ago. And they're like now, and then the rest of the band, they're like one of my favorite bands and my favorite people to hang out with. Like when they first played Los Angeles, they all stayed at my house, like 7 or 8 people. And they're very good people. They're the nicest like guys I know in music, honestly. Yeah, I think just for one show, maybe more than one, but it was the Pitchfork Music Festival. It's on YouTube. It's like Jimmy Whispers played Pitchfork Music Festival, and I think Whitney, or a lot of the members of Whitney, are backing him up. And I'm not sure if they did more shows like that or if it was just that. Good, because he's genius. I think he's like Joey Michaels is like a star. Like but I met my friend. I just met him through a friend. This guy Rupert Angel Eyes, who doesn't do much on the album, but he plays bass in my live band. He's from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I was at a bar and Rupert Angel Eyes said, "Oh, you're Dent May. Like we have mutual friends. If you ever need somebody to play in your band, let me know." And I said, I do need somebody to play in my band. And then he recommended Joey Michaels. And in fact, today is Joey Michaels' birthday. I just saw him earlier today at a park, a socially distant park birthday meeting. And yeah, I mean, he's just like, he's a really funny, very positive, energetic guy that like everyone loves to be around. Like he's really fun and funny and positive and kind of goofy, and I also think he's just really talented. Like he has a really great singing voice and he writes really good songs. So I've been like helping him record some of his new music. Like one of the songs, like Do You Think About Baby, I like recorded that song. And then there's some other songs he did that I did not work on. Like there's a song called Different Attitudes, which I really love. And he did a bunch of songs with this guy AM Sun, who's in a band called Mild High Club. And yeah, Joey Michaels, I think, is like truly, I want to help him like have his own career because he's great. And he's one of the nicest, like best people to just be around. Like he puts a smile on your face when he's in the room, you know? I don't actually know. I'm not sure who the whole band's going to be yet, but he'll definitely be in it.
じゃあちょっと
どんどん音楽的な話とかもしてますね。
That's a really good question. Like I can't think of any specific. Maybe like Chic. Like I'm really into like classic disco. So I think that was Bernard Edwards the bass player of Chic. I'm not sure, but like Chic is like a 70s disco band where Nile Rodgers was like a part of. I don't know who my favorite bass players or bass lines are, but I've always want all the different parts of my songs to be able to sing along to them, to be catchy and have their own melody. So I like the bass line to be funky and but also have a little bit of a melody that is also catchy and gets stuck in your head.
リズムにソウルミュージックの影響を強く感じるんですけど、やっぱそのブラックミュージックがやっぱり大好きなんですか？
Of course, like soul and funk music and like early disco, like I mentioned Chic, like early disco was like black music for sure. And yeah, 80s soul, like all of it. I love soul music, funk music. And actually as a kid, I grew up listening to a lot of rap, you know? A lot of my first albums was like Outkast, and I mentioned like TLC and Boyz II Men and stuff. So like soul music and funk and R&B has always been like among my favorite music, if not like my actual favorite music, you know?
でそこが面白いなと。で、かつブライアン・ウィルソンも好きなんですよね。
Yeah.
なんかそのミックスがとてもいいなと思いました。
Definitely, like I want my music to like, I like all music, honestly. So I want my music to bring it all together. And I feel like this album is the first one that really almost sounded like it was all 70s. And that's not my intention. We're like, Across the Multiverse has more synthesizers and elements of other kinds of music that are all throughout it. And that's kind of my goal, is to just take different things I like and combine it into something that is new or feels new or different. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's really fun. Yeah, I was trying to think of other arrangers I like. I was actually just talking to someone about Jean-Claude Vannier, who like arranged like Serge Gainsbourg's music and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Like, I haven't really gotten to that level where it's so creative and weird, and like that's somebody that really has inspired me, who like just creates these incredible soundscapes, like, but still around like a great song. And also Van Dyke Parks. That's a kind of that's obvious, but really good. Oh, cool. And yeah, I do like to arrange the strings. I just like play them on a keyboard, and then like in Logic Pro X, the program I use, it just like automatically can give you the sheet music. And then I printed it out and showed my friend Yvette, who played the violin. I was like, and she was like, "This is right." And so she could play I could just play it on a keyboard and then print out the music for musicians to play.
Right, thank you.
みんなが気になってるミュージックビデオの話、
しましょうか。
Do you have any dreams or plans to become a cinematic director or an actor?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I actually went to film school for 3 semesters. When in 2003 and 2004, I went to NYU Film School in New York, and I dropped out to play music. And I still think about making movies. I especially during quarantine and during COVID, I've been watching tons of movies, and like me and my girlfriend have been like shooting back ideas for screenplays and ideas for movies. So yeah, like I love movies, and I think that even though I didn't direct the videos, like having the visual style is definitely influenced by a lot of cinema. And I would love to act. It's just a matter of someone asking me to do it. You know, I'm not going to like probably go out of my way to try to break into the acting world. But if someone wants to hire me or believes in me, I would like to do it. I took acting classes in college for film school. And I was actually an actor growing up. When I was a child, I was in a bunch of musicals and school and church and stuff like that. So I'm into it.
ローラースケートがシーソルとキャラメルのね、ミュージックビデオでローラースケートが壊れて転ぶシーンがあるんですけど、あの時のね、表情がもうグレートでしょ。Yeah.
Yeah, I just bought it. So there's a neighborhood in Los Angeles called like the Fashion District or something like that. And it's just it's just blocks and blocks of stores that have very cheap suits. Like
Is it Melrose?
No, it's not. It's in downtown Los Angeles. It's like South downtown. It's kind of a not really seedy. It's kind of a seedy area. It's not nice stores. I mean, they're nice, but it's not like luxury stores. It's like these kind of wholesale suit stores that sell suits for like $80, $100, which is cheap for a suit here. And then I knew I wanted to get a cool suit, and I was walking. I actually got the pink one first. I have this pink one that I wear in some pictures, and actually I'm wearing it a little bit in the I Could Use a Miracle video for the drummer. I think he's wearing it. But I was just walking around that neighborhood, and I found this store that just has all these suits in a bunch of different colors. And so I got the pink one and the blue one there. And no, they just tailored the legs, you know, to be the right length of my ankles, and that was it. It was cool, and yeah.
なるほど。
なんかステージに上がるときにこう衣装を着るっていう文化がなんかいいなと思うんですけど、なんかその辺のこだわりとかあるんですか？
Yeah, in fact, that was my whole plan for this album. Like, and unfortunately, I can't go on tour right now. But like, that was my whole plan for the album, was to have the whole band. Maybe the band would wear like a certain color, a different color suit, and then I would wear the blue suit live. And I have a feeling that once I can play live again, I'm going to do that. And maybe, yeah, for the live stream, we'll probably wear blazers and dress up a little bit. Because I never really did that. In the past, I would just wear casual clothes. But now it feels more like fun to dress up to perform for people. It makes it more special. Yeah, I think that like, I mean, there's a lot of different reasons people listen to music. And I want to make people's lives better when they listen to my music. Like I want, even if every song I make isn't totally happy, I want like someone's life, someone's day to be better because they heard my song. And that's like the best example on this album, where I did feel like at the time when I wrote that, I had a lot of ballads. You know, I had Full Speed Ahead and, you know, Imagination and Bungalow Heaven, LA River. And these were kind of, they're not sad necessarily, but they're more melancholy. And I was like, I need something that's really just happy song. And I really just, you know, and it was also like, I wanted to just say, I love you. Because I think that's like the best thing to say, but I didn't want to name the song I love you because that's a cliche. So it's more of like an interesting way to say I love you to someone. And yeah, like I want to bring joy to someone's life when they hear that song, even if it's just for like 3 minutes. And it's that one's definitely inspired by a lot of Motown type stuff. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's nothing specifically I do to try to learn about melodies, but I think part of it's just my many years of writing songs and my attraction to melodic music. I'm attracted to music that has interesting melodies. But one thing that I didn't mention is that I'm a wedding DJ. Like, so like I'm familiar with a lot of pop music, and I like DJing weddings, which I do. Like I've DJed like 200 weddings in Los Angeles since I moved here 5 years ago. And like you get to see like what like people of all ages react to, like kids and old people. They're all dancing to a Motown song or a 80s Whitney Houston song or something. So like I feel like I have in a way like accidentally studied the history of pop music just by having to do that job. And I don't know, I just love melodies, and it comes easy to me. It's like I'm not that good at guitar or piano or anything else. I'm not that great of a singer, honestly, but I think that melodies is my favorite thing. And I don't know where it comes from, but probably just many, many years of listening to music and trying to write songs. I like to DJ cool. Like I DJ my own taste in music when I can. So I should bring some records. I want to go shopping for records in Japan. Of course. Thank you so much. It was really fun, and I hope to come to Japan and hang out with you guys in person one day. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you. いや、どうでした？
いいやつだね。
いいやつだね。
単純に。
超喋るな。
ちゃんと反応したね、これ。
そう。
ビギンっつって。
出すレコード大喜びだ。
お、こいつらなんだみたいなのがあったんじゃないなんだこれおかしいぞ。半端なく聞いてんだな。でもちゃんとバンダイクパークスのこと見てたね。ストリングス。
ただなぜこれをあなた出したの？このグリーンウッドカントリーシンガーズの。
これバンダイクいるからね。
いるけどさ。
いやでもここに反応するかどうかなと思ってちょっと試したんですよ。あとジョイ・ジョイ・マイケルの今日は誕生日だ。エクセレントなハプニングだったねこれね。
エクセレントハプニングだったね。
いやーこれジョイ・ジョイファンにはね今日が誕生日だってことが分かったっていうだけでもね。あととってもジョイのことを愛してるんだなっていう。そう。嬉しかったです。
よかったよかった。
いや去年出たジョイ・ジョイ・マイケルの曲って。まあ正直ヒットしてるじゃん。ま
あでもアルバム作りたいってなんとか彼のことを世に出したいって言ってたから。
ジーニアスって言ってたよね。ジーニアス。俺もジーニアスだと思う。
思う。
ジョイ・ジョイ・マイケル。
非常にジーニアスだよあれは。
ジョイ・ジョイ・マイケルっていう名前出しただけで満面の笑みだったよ。
そうです。
俺に言えばジョイ・ジョイ・マイケルのことを日本に伝える時間が来るのか。
俺が
いいのかと。
もうだからザビエルの人だ。でも今朝
お祝いしてきた。誕生日のお祝い
してきた。
ソーシャルディスタンスしてねっつってたよね。
めちゃめちゃ笑った
ね。いい話いっぱいあったな。
何かをその曲作りの話とか何か一定のものを目標にはしてないなる人。
ああなるほどね。
もう本当 DJ 的な感覚なんだよ。だから DJ 的な感覚だとさ、キアモノのレコードも愛せるじゃん。
愛せる愛せる。
その中でジョージョで。
そうでもね愛なんだよやっぱそう。いやでもデント君をぜひ日本にねコロナ落ち着いて呼んで DJ パーティーやろうよ。 で結婚式やりたい人はその時期にね、多分ねお金これ次第
これ次第で
これ次第かもしれないけどね、
プロですから彼は。
レイトチェックアウトにいろんな要素が入ってるってことがね
よく分かった。
よく分かったね。彼ってマニアックな音楽も愛してるし、変なものも大好きじゃないですか。ね、だけど結果的に出すものは子供から大人までね、楽しめるっていうか、普段の DJ プレイがそうだから。そうだね。そうそう。
いやなんか結構感動してます。
よかったね。なんかよりデント君のこと僕は好きになりました。
そうですね。
そして身近に感じたので、なんかこうみんなもね、それが身近に感じてね、なんかよりこうレイトチェックアウトを楽しく聴けるようなきっかけになったらいいなと思いますね。これライブ楽しみですね。はい。やるしね、来月のね。
10月9日かな。
ジョイジョイマイケルも出るよ。
ランブルメイトの皆さんもぜひお友達にも勧めてあげてください。
そうだね。でぜひ日本に呼ぼう。はい。デント君 DJ パートしましょう。
というわけで最後までご視聴ありがとうございました。ミッドナイトランブルショーでした。また